Why do most young people skew left politically? Ideas of equality and changing the status quo are more appealing to young people because they have very little investment in the way things currently work. So they are, politically speaking, less selfish. TLDR. The young tend to want change. The old tend to want stability or comfort. Most people aren't aiming for change at the age of 55. They're aiming to settle down and to not have to worry about instability ruining what they have. On the other hand, the young tend to be much more accepting of change because they're the ones driving most of it. It's their world. Society is ever changing, so it's inevitable that newer generations are moving away from what the previous ones were aiming for. They've probably been more exposed to people different from them, whether in person or social media, and see that it's not simply an us versus them world as older generations want to believe. Because politics has become a game of absolutes and the political right has already made its bed, so to speak, meaning a young man comes from wealthy, conservative family but develops an interest in environmentalism. Leftist. A 19-year-old is given the option to stay non-union or join a union and receive benefits. He joins union. Leftist. A young girl hears about her friend getting raped at a party and develops a pro-choice stance. Leftist. The list goes on, but there is no longer a gray zone in politics and everything is either black or white. Young people tend to lean left because the situations older generations put them in dictate it. Because our system doesn't work and the earth is dying. So what sense would it make to conserve a failed system? We realized it doesn't serve us. It serves the 1% and every facet of our reality reflects that. Young people are in the process of making big changes in their lives and are full of hope that it will make their lives better. The left tends to see life changes as an inherently good thing and believes that the next generation will make things better. The right tends to see them as an inherently bad thing and believes that the next generation will make things worse. It's no surprise which one resonates more with young people and which one resonates more with old people. Tell you what the Republican platform offers young folks. A destroyed environment? Upwards matriculation of generational wealth? No control over their bodies? The inability to afford the American dream? A bankrupt social security system? Price gouging medicines in their old age? This isn't even a question, friend. The Republicans have only won the popular vote once since 1988 in presidential elections. Most people skew left, not just young people, because they're sick of hearing about the far right. Conservatives need something to conserve, i.e., resisting progress. Young people don't have hundreds of thousands in stock property or really care for the current system. Also, older people have been exposed to constant mainstream media entertainment for decades, which skews heavily pro-government and right-wing economically. Got nothing to lose. Why not change the system? Meanwhile, people that are 40 plus have a lot to lose since they are so invested into the system. Imagine having spent 30 plus years investing everything you have left over into the stock market, and then the new generations who just entered the system say they want to tear the whole thing down. It's pretty scary. I'm a progressive BTW. Just giving the conservative POV. Emo, there are a lot of things worth changing in the current system. I'm also young, haha. The right wing shuns education, unlike those liberal colleges, the dummies like to say. And it shows in everything they do. The right wing tends to be racist. And today's young people didn't grow up being told to be racist. Unless they encounter abusive people. Older people were subject to more cult activity than today's youth who recognize the BS as fake and not the Word of God. I can tell you the process I went through. After graduating college, I started working for a company. My bonus was based on performance, so I performed winning award after award with the companies. My boss kept using some of his employees to work on his house for his daughter's wedding. We spoke about it and created a schedule so the locations that needed service wouldn't suffer. Not even a week later, on the day the employees were supposed to be at the store, I get audited and failed. There went 20% of my bonus. So I called my boss and he said, "They are at my house. They are my employees. If you don't like it, quit." So I did. Over the years, the bosses hired their kids with no experience or degrees for 2x what I was making in 1/2 the hours. Fuck them. I went back to school, got a degree, made a killing in 2 companies I invested in, and tried to buy a location in the industry I was in previously. Lo and behold, the store they bought 30 years ago for $30K each now cost about $1.5 million each, and you don't make money buying 1. You make money buying 5. So here I am, with a grad degree, who made over $1 million by analyzing the market and trends. TAM, SAM, SOM, combined with cost and revenue models, while my old boss can barely turn on a computer. He took 12 vacations per year and I took 1 in 6 years. Yet for some reason, he has the tax benefits, the pay, the ability to lead employees, and he tries to keep them minimum wage. 2 $10,000 investments in my companies would have returned them $24 million over 8 years, but they don't care for anything other than keeping theirs. They don't do pro formas. And their kids live in multi-million-dollar houses yet don't drive on the freeways because it scares them. Fuck the status quo. Even if I make $1 million a year, I would happily pay my fair share of taxes to enable a fair playing field. They are already in the best neighborhoods, with the best schools, with multiple homes, and their idiot kids will be fine even though every single business decision they made over the last 10 years has been unsuccessful. Edit. In 2020, the company took $1.35 million in government handouts they don't need to pay back and had a record profit year. Meanwhile, house costs went up, food and clothing went up, and they argue against college debt relief as a social welfare program, and they are not about that. Business handouts cause this inflation and now stagflation periods, and they think it's because the workers got a few dollars here and there. https www.huffingtonpostco.uk/entry/politicsconservative Twitter Millennials Ginzuck 63 E8cc 4B0D 6F0B9F 354C5. I also read an article starting that a large percentage of millennials that vote conservative came from wealthy families. Leftist standpoints are progressive, which typically means progressing toward the future and away from what old people have been used to, which is why they appeal to young people more. What possible motivation would they have for skewing right? Conservatives make no serious attempt to skew to the interests of young people. They mock their values, which run heavy to evening the playing field, rooting out corruption, respecting identity, and protecting the environment. That's been a constant feature of youth vote interests, at least since I was in HS. And I'm 38 now. Specifics change with the context of the times. Exact polling numbers vary, but those things are steady. How do I know more recently? Easy. I worked in politics from age 25 to 34, and paid attention since. Republicans. Who founded the EPA? Who created the national park system? Who advocate for small government because they want the government out of people's private lives and who always say they're going to drain the swamp, would have an easy time splitting the youth vote if they held true to those conservative values. Instead, they hamstring ethics committees, work to undermine the park system, EPA, and all environmental regulation, and try to forbid people from legally expressing extremely personal aspects of themselves, all while opposing any effort of young people to make more money or own property with the same ease their parents did. So really, seriously, why would anyone under 50 support the Republican Party? It's amazing as many people do. I think a lot of you are forgetting that climate change is a big factor. We will actually have to deal with the ramifications while all you old people get to profit off the oil and then die before it gets too bad. Because they just watched millennials go fight a war, lose, come back half mad, while pretty much having no opportunities in life, and be sad, burnt out cursing capitalism by their late 40s. All the promise of the American dream does not exist for them. On top of that, the modern right of their generation are powerless trolls, incels. And while they preach family values, are the worst breed of degenerates with fake cartoon girlfriends. There really isn't much down the road for the modern right, except an appeal to the most debased sections of society the left wouldn't touch. Retired and late-stage Americans have more money to siphon. Might as well build a party around that. People keep saying you get more conservative as you get older. But at 35, if anything, I'm growing more and more left-wing as time wears on. Conservatism is a nothing sandwich with extra nihilism sauce. And I see no value in anything they have to offer. And I think that is apparent to Gen Z as a whole as well. It's all capitalist empowerment and theocratic blurring of religion and state while stirring up culture war garbage to distract. I think they see the failures of conservatism in corporate beholden liberals and want nothing to do with that. And I say Godspeed to all of them. Maybe they can do what my gen, millennials, can't. They seem brash enough to pull it off, too.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.